What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NRW Checkpoint. Myself, WebsterStyle, and of course, always joined by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Good, I'm good. You know, it's another day of breathing upright.
Exactly.
Oh, Brian, it's only going to get worse when it comes to
I mean, I'm seeing that firsthand.
It's get worse. And what, next week? What, Spider-Man comes out next week?
2 weeks. What is it? The 20th, I believe.
No, Forza comes out next week, and then it's going to be crazy. It's going to be real crazy over the next couple months. Let's get into the beginning of the madness. First up, we have Bilkin's Folly on the PS4, 5, Switch, and PC, an adventure game from Ubisoft as a developer and Armor Game Studios as the publisher. Bilkin's Folly is a narrative adventure game about a boy and his dog. Team up with your canine best friend to uncover every nook and cranny of this region. With the help of Percy's expert cartography skills, you can customize your map to help you solve puzzles and unlock other secrets. But be warned, some puzzles in this world are harder than others, and you might need to return to them later in your journey. So basically, from what I understand, this is like a Metroidvania cross with like a Legend of Zelda style game. Maybe I saw some pictures of it. We aren't watching the trailer for it, but it gives you an idea. There's a lot of backtracking, everything, overworld, dungeons-ish sort of thing. But that's I forget. I think the game's only like $15.99 if I remember correct. So it's a fairly inexpensive game with that.
Okay, sounds interesting. So you can customize the map.
You have a customized map, so I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
They let you augment your map to help you with different puzzles. But the thing is, like, who's Percy? I'm pretty sure Percy, not your dog. And it's called Bilkin's Folly. So I'm assuming the main character is Bilkin. Maybe Percy's the main character, and Bilkin's Folly is somewhere you have to find. I don't know. But, it's interesting. But it sounds like an interesting game.
It does.
Next up, Brian, before I start, I never realized how many JRPGs get released every year until we started doing this.
Yeah, man, like it's a pretty big genre. It's I think I don't want to. There's a certain, I don't know, disdain for Western culture on the eastern side of the planet, and it has caused them to, create their own. Which obviously that's what you do. You miles and miles, thousands of miles away. So of course. And then, I would venture to say that the eastern side of the planet kind of, cultivated RPGs just as a whole. So they usually tend to lead the charge with all that kind of stuff. You look at games like Final Fantasy and stuff, which I think that's still considered Japanese.
Maybe the newest one may not be considered everything I heard, but you've played it, so it's more of an action RPG-ish. Well, no, it still is, but I think that the Western RPG leans more toward that sort of third-person or first-person sort of exploration with RPG. Like a Skyrim or something like that.
Right.
But I say that because, we've covered a lot of JRPGs that have come out just over the past couple of years that neither one of us have ever heard of. And this is one that I have a passing familiarity with just because I just remember the name. I've never played it. But it's been around for a while because we're in the 7.1. It's Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless. It's on the PS4, 5, Switch, and PC. As we said, it's an RPG. It's from Nippon Ichi as a developer and NIS America as the publisher. Disgaea is back and better than ever in Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless. Join Fuji as he embarks on a perilous journey of redemption and expertise, unique features, and experience. I don't know why I said expertise. It is really, ladies and gentlemen, very long day. For all of us, experience unique features new to the Disgaea series. Join protagonist Fuji for a Disgaea adventure that's bigger and better than ever before. Dive into the demonic realm of Hinomoto, where the Bushido Code is out and the Hinomoto Code of Destruction is in. Consisting of a myriad of netherworlds, Hinomoto is home to a multitude of demons, each with their own beliefs. Enter Bushido fangirl. What is that? Piralika. That's an interesting combination of letters. It's like Piril.
Are you even pronouncing that right?
I don't know.
Piralika. That's what it looked like.
Okay, well, she's a native, a naive, rich young lady who manages to convince Fuji to protect her as she pursues her ambitions. That sounds, Fuji, why'd you do it to yourself, man? Do it to yourself.
Right.
But there's more to this contract than meets the eye. And be sure to check the fine print. Okay, so Fuji's in for a world of trouble. He got himself involved with a rich woman. He probably got smitten because she's cute, and now he's in over his head. Okay. We all trouble for that.
That sounds like the right plot to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And then since this is a JRPG, we'll probably throw in like rival gang trying to, I don't know. You know how it's always another family that's like
somebody has amnesia.
Yeah, right. Somebody don't know what's going on. Yes. I'm interested to see the trailer. Now I want to know how correct we are.
Yeah, exactly.
With this synopsis here.
Right. All right. Next up, we have another RPG, which is what I was saying before. This one is Silent Hope on the Switch and PC. It's from Marvelous as a developer and XC Games as the publisher. Explore, fight, and produce items to grow stronger as 7 distinct heroes in this silent world. Guided by the princess, you'll delve into the abyss and learn the mysteries of the king and his now ruined kingdom. In a world without words, what hope is there for humanity?
That's actually probably the best question I've heard in a long time. Because how do we communicate? Well, no, because you still need. Well, no, you don't. I'm thinking about how universal music is as a language, even though people don't necessarily consider it that. Some songs you need lyrics, some you don't. So maybe, but still,
silence doesn't mean non-hearing. It just means you're not speaking.
Right. But then they say, okay. Because what's a world without words? Yeah, that kind of threw me off. But you're right.
That doesn't mean there's no sound. So music could be something that could be used for communications like that. It'll be very interesting. We don't watch the show for that, but I'd be very curious to see if developers kind of used that aspect of sound and whatnot, of communication as far as the story is concerned.
Right. If they do, that would be dope.
Right. Next up, we have arguably the biggest release, or I would say not biggest, the most high-profile release this week. It is Assassin's Creed Mirage on the PS4, 5, Xbox S and X, and PC action game from Ubisoft Bordeaux as a developer and Ubisoft proper as a publisher. In Assassin's Creed Mirage, you are Basim, a cunning street thief with nightmarish visions, seeking answers and justice. After an act of deadly retribution, Basim flees Baghdad and joins an ancient organization, the Hidden Ones. As he learns their mysterious rituals and powerful tenets, he will hone his unique abilities, discover his true nature, and come to understand a new creed, one that will change change his fate in ways he can never have imagined. So this is, from all intents and purposes, what I've read and everything is, I won't say a step back, but it kind of goes back to some of the core Assassin's Creed gameplay.
Right.
A very structured linear game that's like 20 hours or so, telling a cohesive story. What was the last one? Valhalla, that had a lot more RPG elements. That was like 100+ hours from what I understand. So they're trying to go back to the original formula to some degree to see what works. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I've never gotten to the Assassin's Creed games. I think I have a couple from Xbox Live Gold, and I think I had a physical copy of Assassin's Creed 2 long time ago back on 360.
Yeah.
Never really got into it. So I can't really come like, yeah, I love this series. I'm like, I really can't comment. But from everything I hear, it's something that fans have been kind of asking for.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And I could say that as I won't call myself like a fan, maybe like a loose fan, like I'm a associated fan, I guess. Because I played the first 2 Assassin's Creed games, and I don't know. I keep up here and there because once they started to kind of expand the world,
right,
I kind of picked and choose which ones I want to participate in. So I play like Brotherhood and stuff like that because I really like the co-op element that game came with. Excuse me. Either way, I do think that them going backwards to like the core aesthetic of the game, because at some point when they made it open world and more like RPG-esque, it lost the whole. It was really no need to do the stealth thing, and that was the real lore with Assassin's Creed, like being stealthy and cunning and swift, and killing all these people without drawing attention to you. So, at some point in the franchise, it really became like another version of Dynasty Warriors. You can just really run and kill and progress through the story however you wanted to. So I like that they're going back. I'm interested in this game. I might be picking it up. I don't know. It just depends. I want to look at some gameplay footage and see if I'm like super interested.
Okay. Well, we are watching the trailer for that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess from a standpoint of I'm glad they kind of took a step back because not every game needs to be 100 hours. It feels like at times that developers are just padding games to pad them. Mm-hmm. Look, first of all, this is my opinion. If the game's like 10 hours, 15 hours, something like that, it shouldn't be 70 hours off the bat. If you were charging me $70 for a game and I'm only getting 10, 15 hours in this game, you better have some free DLC lined up in the pipeline.
Definitely.
To make it worthwhile. But don't pad it just for padding's sake. Because everything has to be, as a AAA game, it has to be 100 hours. No, just have some good components, have a good story, have a good multiplayer.
Right.
That's something applicable. Or have a DLC roadmap that is free.
You go. Mm-hmm.
I think 6 months to a year, you'll have 2, maybe 3 DLC stories that go along with what you bought, and then maybe you'll have a extra larger DLC that you got to pay for. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
just make it worth our while, and don't give us a broken game and charge us $70 for it. And it's like, oh well, it's 15 hours, but we still got more to add. We'll charge you 70, and then you got to buy the DLC too to actually get what we wanted you to play in the first place. Like, nah, homie, I'm not doing that.
I agree. I think that model where it'd be like, maybe 10, 15 hours. I think those smaller games, or smaller play times work better with like live service games, like a Destiny or something, where it's like every DLC we're gonna give you like 5 or 10 more hours of like story content, and then whatever else we throw in there, to kind of flesh out an actual story and build it out. But out the gate, all these hours of playtime and stuff.
Right.
I don't know. They bogged the games down a lot with like these side quests and side missions and stuff like that. And it makes sense if your main story is not gonna be longer than like 20 hours or something. But once you start talking about 100 hours playtime, it's like, okay, do you want me? Are you making a part 2, or is this the final game? Because this feels quite finite. But I don't know. I just I think going back to the actual game we were talking about, I'm just interested in making sure the story is good, like you said. Like all of the extra stuff. If it's a good story, you hit me with some DLC, maybe tell me, hey, we got another, like Spider-Man. Well, the story was a little longer on there, like the progression of it, but still, they came with some fire DLC, and now we're getting a part 2.
Right.
Do it like that. I don't need it to be all in one swipe because I'm gonna get tired at some point.
Right, exactly. So, it wouldn't be a list of games without a remake or remaster. And I'm not saying that to say it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that we've talked before how we're getting so many remakes and remasters of so many things. And there's a video I want to send you where this guy does a really good analysis as to why this is happening.
Okay.
This generation specifically. I think you'll find it very interesting. I gotta now find it on my massive YouTube.
Okay.
But I think you'll like that. But this is Front Mission 2 Remake. It's on the Switch. It's a strategy game from Forever Entertainment. The remake of Front Mission 2 features improved loading speeds, support for many new languages, a new free camera option to zoom in during gameplay, and check out Wonders, I don't know. In detail, new coloring and camouflage options, modern in-game effects, and a renewed soundtrack. The game uses 3D models and a moving camera. The player progresses through the game in a linear manner, watching cutscenes, events, completing missions, setting up their wanzers, whatever, doing missions, and sorting for the next mission. And this Front Mission 2 originally came out on the PlayStation.
Okay.
So this is a series that I am not familiar with, but it was
me either.
I won't say a lot of hype, but I heard some buzz about it when they said it's being remade. We're not watching a trailer for that though.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep getting these remakes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is if they gonna keep doing these remakes, the Switch 2 better be around the corner.
Well, I will say this though, and this kind of give you crib notes on the video that I watched.
Okay.
A lot of the reasons why things are being remade, a lot of it's the different engines that are being used now.
Okay.
Porting, say, some of those games from the 360 PS3 era, and especially because of PS3, because of the cell process that kills a lot of backwards compatibility. So they have to be
definitely
remastered. But I believe it's going from like Unreal 3 to Unreal 4. Because we ain't even talking about 5 because 5 is just very new. But there are things as far as lighting and textures that are just drastically different. Technology increased, or technology advanced as far as these engines are concerned. And if you try to compile that code in a lot of these newer engines, it won't work.
Right. Will not compute.
So that's why we're seeing a lot of these remasters or remakes of these games, because in some cases a simple port or a simple code dump to make it run in the newest engine won't work. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I said, I always say before, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a programmer. I don't know. I just look and see and voice my opinion like all you do. But when someone with some knowledge of the industry makes a pretty compelling video as to why this is happening, I'm like, okay, I totally understand that. That makes perfect sense. So that's why we're seeing a lot of these remakes and whatnot, especially thinking going from the PlayStation, that's mid-90s.
Yeah, definitely.
We talking about damn near 30 years.
Right. I don't mind it though. Some of the games that they're like, remaking or rebirthing or whatever, like they're I don't know, I feel like they're better served on these current generations of systems, just because of the things you mentioned, graphics and textures and lighting and stuff like that. It's just good to see games from the past that have a good story, like brought to life in today's like technology.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we have a game that's not a remake or a remaster. It's a brand new. This is My Little Universe. Is on the Switch and the PC. It is an action adventure game from eStory as the developer and Say Games as the publisher. Stranded on a barren moon with nothing but your tools, fearless ship, and celestial powers of creation, you are destined to recreate what was once lost and be the hero of your own little universe. Don't forget to call in up to 3 of your friends to join your journey in split screen co-op mode. And we are watching, the trailer for that one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that I had to think something like, did we watch the trailer for that? Because I know when I saw the game art, I'm like, oh, I've seen this trailer or a trailer for this a while ago. It looks pretty interesting.
Okay, I'm interested as well. Co-op, you know, it's gonna get me.
Yeah, split screen co-op. Is it couch co-op though? It's a local co-op.
Is it?
It doesn't say, but maybe the trailer will give more details.
Okay, cool.
Next up, we have Wargroove 2 for the Switch and PC. It's a strategy game from Chucklefish and Robotally developers, and Chucklefish is the out-and-out publisher. Wargroove is back. Embark on a new adventure filled with unlikely friendships, unknown adversaries, and ugly revenge pots. Wage your war against your foes with a cast of new commandos and utilize their tiered groove ability system to sway the fight in your favor. Design and share maps, cutscenes, and campaigns with easy-to-use editors and in-depth customization tools. Now, we're not watching a trailer for that, but sounds interesting.
It does. Wargroove. Yeah, strategy game. Makes sense.
Yep. Next up is a game that I really didn't realize this was a game.
Really?
I had no clue this was like a game series. I literally thought they just did it for the movie.
Oh no, the game inspired the movie.
I had no idea there was a game. Well, ladies and
gentlemen, I'll dial it back. The anime inspired the game, and the game inspired the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there was definitely
got you. Well,
yeah.
The game we're talking about in question is the return of Detective Pikachu. Well, Detective Pikachu Returns. Obviously, it's Pokemon. It's only on one system. That's the Switch. You already knew that before I said it. Adventure game from developer Creators Inc. or Creatures Inc. Excuse me, and publisher Nintendo / the Pokemon Company. Now, is the Pokemon Company a separate entity, or are they owned by Nintendo? I never understood that. Does Nintendo license Pokemon from them?
I believe so. It's weird because it's weird because the Pokemon Company is its own thing, but then the gaming division is handled by like Game Freak and Nintendo. But I think Game Freak is its own. It's weird, but Pokemon Company is different. It's just for whatever reason they have exclusive gaming licenses through Nintendo.
Okay, so I just looked it up because I always see that and it confuses me. So it is a separate company that owns Pokemon, where that company is owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. So they have a 1/3 percentage of ownership of Pokemon.
Okay, that makes sense.
Interesting.
That makes
I always
sense.
wondered about that.
Yeah, because they very like they operate like they're different, but then when it comes to like the games and stuff, you always see Nintendo like championing everything they do, which makes sense because they own the company. And then I think was it Game Freak? Well, do you see anything there about Game Freak's involvement? Because I believe they just the ones that came up.
Yeah, they own a third of it. It's Game Freak, Creatures Inc., and Nintendo. Each one of them owns a third of that company.
Okay, so Creatures Inc. probably came to Game Freak, and Game Freak was like, "Let's go to Nintendo to make games."
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting because I asked that question initially because I'm thinking, okay, if another company owns Pokemon, Nintendo licenses them, why hasn't another company come in and just like open up like twice as much money to get Pokemon?
It's a good question.
But now we know why. Nintendo owns a third of it, so that ain't happening.
Right. I'm interested. I wonder who is like involved with Digimon, because I think
That's Bandai. That's Namco Bandai. They own that.
Oh, they do. They do. Okay.
So Detective Pikachu returns in the game that follows Tim Goodman and his partner wisecracking Pikachu with the ability to communicate with Tim as they attempt to solve the ongoing mystery behind the disappearance of Tim's father. The game takes place in Rhyme City, where humans and Pokemon live side by side. Unlike the mainline Pokemon games, Detective Pikachu returns and focuses on solving mysteries across Rhyme City. And we are watching the trailer for that.
Okay.
And last but not least, well, honorable mention, there were a couple games that came out that were re-releases of games that came out a while ago. And typically, we don't cover those games, especially there's like one game that came out for like the Switch 3 years ago that they just really talk about that. But a notable game that is coming out on PS5 this week is Scorn. Scorn came out on Xbox last year around this time. It's still on Game Pass, I understand. It's a horror adventure game. It looks like they took inspiration from H.R. Geiger's designs for the original Alien. So that whole world is very much like that. I played it when it came out. Wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay.
It's a game, but it's just, I went in expecting something different. I went in expecting this first-person shooter, and it wasn't. It was very much about exploration and in this world, which is great. It's beautiful. You can get them, but it just wasn't what I was looking for when I got into the game. So again, not a bad game, just was not what I was looking for at all. So that's coming out this week on the PlayStation 5. And last for our new releases, and there's not too much to say about this because once we talk about it and say what it is, everybody knows what it is. It's 24 is on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, and X. And surprisingly, I'm surprised because we saw FIFA last week be on the Switch. NHL 24 is not on the Switch.
That probably has something to do. Probably has something to do with EA Vancouver.
Maybe, but we thought EA learned their lesson, man.
Yeah, I mean, they still ain't brought EA Big back, or what is it, Big EA, whatever it was, whoever was doing the NBA
That's a lot of things they need to bring back.
Yeah, they not gonna learn until we stop buying the games. Then they're gonna be like, maybe we should make something different.
Well, I can't tell you the last time I bought an EA game, period.
I think,
let alone sports games.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm off of sports games.
Yeah,
I just feel like, especially with sports games, it's like, because it's a copy or it's a video game version of a real sport, and in real sports, the rules and things don't change. It's like you playing the same game every time you buy it. So I'd just rather not. But yeah, hopefully they'll learn their lesson, man. The Switch is I don't know why EA got this gripe with the Switch, but you playing yourself. Switch got a huge fan base, and it's perfect for sports games, honestly. So I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever. Do what you want to do. EA, it's working for you, I guess.
Look, I don't know. They did a restructure not too long ago and laid off people, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, because there are too many people getting laid off in too many places, and unfortunately, it all runs together.
Right. I was just about to say, it's a bunch of layoff news in the gaming world, like right now.
Yeah, but this was a couple months ago when they did a restructuring as far as like
EA,
and Electronic Arts, and it was EA Sports as far as publishing arms and entertainment. So yeah. So, but that's that. So first up, we got our trailers, and we're gonna jump right into Baghdad, Middle East with Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Is that where Mirage is?
We work in the dark to send the light. Basim Ibn Ishaq, you have become one of us.
Yeah, I look for drama. Yeah, I'm chasing karma. See some things that other people can't see.
In Baghdad, city of brilliant sun, one must uncover the darkness beneath.
But is it all just a mirage? Is it just a mirage? Is it just a mirage?
You will have to find your way when nothing is as it seems.
Is it all just a mirage? Is it just a mirage?
Okay. Did it say you can play it with Ubisoft Plus?
Yep.
Okay. I like that. Trailer looks cool.
You know, I will say this. I won't say Ubisoft has a limited game library.
They do.
But, well, no. When you think of all the stuff Ubisoft publishes, they have a wide range of titles that they publish, from like Trivial Pursuit, Uno, the Rabbids games, well, not the Mario line games, pretty much anything Tom Clancy. I think Ubisoft Plus is like, and let's not forget Far Cry, $15.99 a month. I think that's what it is not a bad deal, especially if their new title is dropping on Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, I was about to say. I can. It's $15.99. That's I heard it. I said, "Oh, wait a minute!" But if we getting day one,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, titles, that's not bad. Especially if you Ubisoft, like if you like the brand, which not my top, but I do tend to like Ubisoft games, so I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's one that we overlook, particularly because when you think Ubisoft nowadays, you think Assassin's Creed and you think Rainbow Six, and you tend to forget the breadth and depth of games they have. Even, and this is I know you get back into that, they what was the name of the game they came out with? I forget the name of the game. Phoenix Rising, whatever it was called. Like, okay. I played something that I enjoyed. That I'm kind of sad that's not getting a sequel. That was a pretty good new IP. So I'm looking at, when is this from? This is okay, April 2023. So we're talking about and I know we're getting off, but Ubisoft Plus, $15.99 a month. So all of the annual games, so that sort of city building games that we looked at a couple months ago, pretty much every Assassin's Creed is on there. The Avatar game that's coming out is going to be on there. The Brothers in Arms series is on there. Child of Light, which is a really good underrated RPG. That is a really cool game. I have that. Cold Fear, man, I forgot about that game.
Me too.
Discovery Tour series, all the Far Cries, Flashback, For Honor series, From Dust, the whole Might and Magic series, at least 2, 3, and 5. I'm Alive. Oh yeah, Immortal Phoenix Rising, Imperialism, something called Lock on Air Cat, Combat, all the Might and Magic series, Monopoly, which I own as well, just personally. Something called Panzer Dragon, all of Prince of Persia.
That's what got me into them. Yeah, Prince of Persia.
Oh, you forget Ubisoft publishes those South Park games too. So those great South Park RPGs, Riders of Republic is, Silent Hunter, some other games that don't matter. The Crew series, which we talked about.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Settlers. Everything Tom Clancy, pretty much. So you're talking about Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, Trackmania, Transference, Uno, Valiant Heart series, Watch Dogs.
Phenomenal game.
That is actually not a bad. And that's not bad enough. And I think I'm not sure. I think if you buy like on your Xbox, because it's like one pass, so I think you access those games on your Xbox as well as PC. Or maybe no, multi-access. No. Okay. So that's $17 a month.
Okay.
That's still not bad though.
It's not. You get all those games and whatever new games they put out. It's not a bad deal. Probably Ubisoft probably need to work on like branding and marketing a little bit more, because all of the other, well, not all the other studios, but I think about who was that PlayStation bought? Whoever does the I just lost my whole train of thought. Whoever does the space game, well, I just talked about it. Destiny.
Oh, Bungie,
yeah. Not every state of play, but most of the time, like PlayStation goes out of their way to like, specifically highlight Bungie and whatever projects they're working on. I know Xbox does the same thing with Bethesda and some of the other companies they own. I think Ubisoft just need to put itself out there more and just, do a state of play or something. Ubisoft Direct, let us know what you got over there. So
they suck at it. Like seriously, they suck at even that Assassin's Creed sort of Direct they had. I don't know what it is about a lot of the individual publishers. They just do not do a very good job of doing those presentations. It's like if it's not Microsoft, if it's not Nintendo or Sony, there's something about, and I'm talking about major publishers like Devolver, the indie guys, they put on some really good shows.
Okay.
But the major publishers, for some reason,
they put the trailers out and kick back.
Yeah, it's something missing in the presentation a lot of times.
Yeah.
So Ubisoft tried though with the Assassin's Creed one. I will give them that one. But it's just something that's missing. But yeah, so Mirage, and again, this list from April, so they've released games since April that are on there now.
Right.
October. So in addition, Assassin's Creed Mirage will be there too.
Yeah, and then isn't that newest Prince of Persia game coming out on the Switch? Is it out already? I believe it is, right?
I don't know. Well, we haven't talked about it.
It should be on there. Right.
All right, well, that's Assassin's Creed Mirage. Next up, we have Disgaea 7, the virtues of the vows of the virtues. It's getting late, y'all. I'm tired.
That's all right, man.
I'll give this my all.
Yeah, dude. I'll help out, dude.
Scatter. Hanzan Musashi!
A big one. Big time score.
Be gone.
I'm hungry.
You turned him into an upland.
Disgaea 7, Vows of the Virtueless. To hell with honor.
Okay.
Coming to Nintendo Switch on October 3rd, 2023.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed for it to be a long running series. It looks very generic.
Yeah, and I think that's the like the thing with this entire franchise. It's like a caricature of itself. Like it's obviously they it's serious enough to where there's a storyline happening and the characters are noticeable and recognizable in their own rights or whatever. But at the same time, it feels almost like a little parody of what we typically would come to expect from like JRPGs or whatever.
Right.
All that said, I don't know. I might pick it up one day. Sometimes these little light comical games like this that don't take much thought into making sure that they're, that you're enjoying playing them. I tend to like some of those. Just every once in a while, when I'm tired of all of the in-depthness that comes with these games, I like these little light ones. So who knows? Maybe one day.
Got you. Understood. Next up, we have our own little adventure on My Little Universe.
Get lost in your own little universe as you arrive on a new planet with nothing but your trusty pickaxe to accompany you. Step out of your rocket and dive into a whole
building continent
world of adventure. Get exploring to unlock exotic new lands. Mine an entire planetary wealth of resources. Build a sophisticated civilization with agriculture, cities, and much more. But watch out. There are hordes of primeval monsters who won't take kindly to the changes you're making. Fight for your life and your beautiful creation against angry ants, up-giant fungi, and other fearsome foes. Team up with friends in co-op mode, or get it alone as a solo creator. My Little Universe is waiting for you.
That looks pretty cool.
Right? It does. You're right. It's kind of like City Tycoon, but condensed, but not at the same time. Got civilization aspects in there. Oh no, I might be interested in that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we like unique.
Definitely.
And last but not least, we have Detective Pikachu Returns.
The name's Pikachu, and I'm what you might call a great detective.
That is not.
And I work here in Rhyme City, where humans and Pokemon live side.
I want them to pick a Pikachu voice and stay with it.
Outstanding. When I'm not busy solving cases that crop up, I'm looking for leads on my missing partner, Harry. And it's no walk in the park, let me tell you. You want to know more about me? All right. I guess I can open up a little. First, here's Tim. He's my partner at the moment. For some reason, Tim can understand what I'm saying, even though he's human. And this guy right here is Harry. He's Tim's dad, if you can believe it. Then we got Tim's mom, Irene, and his little sister, Sophia. There's also Rachel, who goes to college with Tim. Well, speaking of Rachel, her dad, Howard, he's actually the mayor of Rhyme City. And I barely scratched the surface of all the interesting characters around here. Now, let me give you the gist of what me and Tim do. Whenever an incident occurs, Tim talks to the people, I talk to the Pokemon, and we work together using our case notebook to deduce what happened. When investigating a scene, we're total pros at finding everything, but even pros gotta take it easy every so often. You can count on us to solve even the toughest cases in a flash. Oh, right! Sometimes other Pokemon help us with our investigations. Take Rowlet, for instance. She can track down suspects with her sensitive nose. And Darmanitan here packs a pulverizing punch. All kinds of Pokemon lend us a hand. Oh, how can I forget the Hi-Hat Cafe? It's a famous coffee house in Rhyme City, and I'm their best customer. Oh, that first cup in the morning really hits the spot.
You're wrong about that. All right, well, that was our take on Detective, or I guess Detective Pikachu Returns. Ryan, what's going on with you this week?
I just released an episode, Talk+Play blerdcast, talking about a bunch of things on there. Just regular, headlines and the blogs and everything. Game chat, music, and a little bit of TV. Got some good news. Well, the writer strike is over. Now we waiting on the actors to agree to something with these money hungry studios, and then we should be rolling again.
Speaking of money hungry, did you hear the news?
Yeah, Netflix, they trying to play.
Yes.
And
they're trying to play us is what
right. And you know what's crazy? I thought for a split second, I was like, you know what? If I'm one of these companies, I'm just raising the prices on stuff so I don't have to come out my pocket. I could just charge the people. But I don't want that to happen. Like, capitalism is too much. It's out of control.
I need to change my Disney plan before they charge me $25.
right. Which, yeah, because they got a lot bundled up in their stuff too. Either way, Talk+Play blerdcast is on the way, or it's out, and probably got some changes coming with that. So we'll see. But yeah, what about yourself? What you got going on?
Episode 165 just dropped. My audio interview with Jessica Starling. I talked about Cocoon, which we talked about last week, which I didn't realize was on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
So talk about that, as well as the fragrance of the week is I've been into tobacco fragrances that I have. So I'm doing Tobacco Boss from Authenticity Perfumes. And then as of today, the first interview with adult content creator Suki Sin is out. And then I have another coming out with her on Friday. And then Game Bites will be out here and there before the week's out everywhere. And then I got another interview lined up next week. So, it's popping.
Yeah, I see. Content coming.
Yep, content coming. But you know who you are, ladies and gentlemen. With the nerds rule the world. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the NRW, on Instagram and News Wednesday, New Release Wednesday. And make sure you follow us here on YouTube. Like, share, and of course, subscribe.